Ball gone in left field. Car rushed.
Joining us right now on Padres Radio, skipper of the world champion Chicago Cubs, Joe Maddon. Does that get tired of being heard?
Never. It was a pretty cool experience, obviously. It's something we haven't done in over a century. To be a member of that group is almost, it's a staggering thought. I'm very grateful for it, and it's something we'll always hold with us.
The reason I bring that up is with the San Diego Padres. I've talked about a couple things that I've learned from you because I saw you up close take a team from last place to the World Series, watching them afar. Some of the things I saw were constant. One was the chemistry and the character and the culture that you put together. The other is the process. The process. Talk to us about why the process has to be pure for the results to come.
Well, even like last year, I came up with the concept of the thought the process is fearless. In other words, if you're an outcome-based person, man, you're going to feel all the tension in the moment. You're going to be disappointed oftentimes if you're always about results. But if you're more focused on the process and understand it's 162 games of this and that there's going to be ebb and flow, and that on a daily basis, part of that is your ability to control those components that you can. So it's about controlling those moments, staying in the moment, staying with the process, and stay away from the results thoughts, because the result thoughts will bring about the word expectations, and you'll feel the pressure of the moment. Otherwise, you'll just be in the moment.
It's kind of like with the swing. If my hips fly open, it doesn't care what my hands do because the process is going to be impure.
It's faulty, and that's the whole thing. It's to teach young guys to think that way it's not difficult, but then again, if this makes sense, it's not easy. It's repetitive. Teaching is redundancy. The old line, when the student is ready, the teacher will appear. I believe in that stuff. So with my guys, I try to be redundant in a non-obtrusive way where they start turning me off. But eventually, if you talk to our guys, I would imagine, or I would believe that a lot of them would validate the process to you.
Culture. You'll remember this. First day in the Namoli complex in St. Petersburg, you took a base, you got a little piece of orange paint, you put it on the corner and said, we're going to begin the whole thing. The whole culture is going to begin with, we're going to hit the bag the right way. You said we're going to do the Rays way of doing things. A couple of writers laughed and go, what's that, lose 100 games? But it was the beginning of the culture. Why is culture so important?
We oftentimes mock what we don't understand, you know. You got to start with the little things. Coach John Wooden, the first day of practice every year, would start by teaching his players how to put their socks on properly because he did not want them to have blisters and miss games for blisters. I thought that was wonderful. You have to start with the biggest part is the little things, hitting the bag properly, running hard to first base running in general, the kind of stuff that doesn't get a lot of publicity or glamour attached to it. But those are the moments that win the 1-0, 2-1, 3-2 games. So with the Rays, I could see from the beginning that stuff was the nuance wasn't in place, man. It was all about being in the big leagues, riding on chartered airplanes, and getting meal money. We had to change that entirely and quickly, and we did. And I didn't have to change that here. These guys are raised properly in the Cub minor league system, and throughout with Theo and Jed, and et cetera. It's been a nice transition for me, and it's just kind of like putting the finishing touches on a wonderful group of young baseball players.
When I'm sitting here with the Padres, I look at this team. I think the culture might be a little bit of Andy Green's personality. He's a tough, scrappy guy. These guys just don't quit. Is that a way that you could start a culture to teach everything else that you want to achieve eventually getting to that World Series?
Great place to start, man. I mean, that's on our ring. We never quit. That's on the World Championship ring. I think Andy does a great job. I know he hasn't been doing it long, but he really runs a great game. He's on top of everything over there. He's got a really good staff. I know a lot of the guys over there also. It takes time, man. It takes time, and a lot of it they're going to do the rebuilding it the proper way. There's going to be a lot of young guys. You're going to see a lot of young mistakes. You're going to see them. You're going to lose a lot of games to teams that know how to win, and there's something about that versus a team that's learning how to win. But just be patient with the whole thing. You got a great ballpark, a wonderful facility, and also a great tradition. The Padres have a really great tradition, even back to the PCL. My buddy Jimmy Reese used to be a member of the Padres organization, and one time he used to tell me all about the PCL, at that time, and it's a great place, and it's going to keep getting better.
Joe, thank you so much for joining us.
It was my pleasure. Great to see you, brother.